Welcome back, Pokemon fans. Angel of the Night here. We are back again with the Team Star Challenge, and as you guys know, it is a single formatted battle competition where we focus on using Pokemon that Team Star had. Every team is required to have a Revaroom and has to come to every battle. Now, I come in here with my Annihilape, they come in here with a Krookodile. They have activated their Intimidate, which lowers my attack stat, but wait, I have Defiant. That actually has the opposite effect, so that actually boosts up our attack stat. Now, in some situations, when Defiant has been activated, Krookodiles tend to go for foul play, basically doing a lot more damage than what it would normally do. And I've decided, you know what, I'm not going to have anything of that. So I'm going to go in for the Tera change to water in hopes to be able to resist that. This Krookodile, however, ends up going for a Stealth Rock. Now, Stealth Rock, of course, is going to set up entry hazards for Pokemon that are coming in. Okay? Now, we did get a Drain Punch off here. We actually destroyed this Krookodile. Now, we did get a little bit of damage there from the Rocky Helmet, but we are going to get a little bit back there from the Drain Punch and, of course, also the leftovers. So, that means that we've taken out 1 out of 3 Pokemon that are on the opposing side, and then comes in this beast. As you guys know, Toxapex is a incredibly difficult Pokemon to take out in this format. Okay? There's not a lot of things that can actually do anything to it, and it is extremely frustrating. So it's gone for the Baneful Bunker. It can't get hit this turn. Now, I did attempt to go for the Taunt, so that way it can't go for the Baneful Bunker, and that way it can't go for things like Protect and Recover and all these strange moves like Haze. We did manage to get the Taunt off here, which is pretty fantastic. Can't go for the Toxic at this time, and we're going to get a little bit of leftovers back here as we progress through the battle. Okay, so now that we've actually managed to taunt this Toxapex, I've decided I'm going to go in for the bulk up here, while they're going to go and swap out their Toxapex for their Revaroom. Now, is this the right choice? I mean, I've seen some Revaroom go for Terrestrial to Electric, so it's very possible that that could be a good call. So we actually end up going for the bulk up. We get our defense rose, we get our attack rose. I'm just going to go in for the Drain Punch here. Now, unless this thing goes for like a Tera, Tera Ghost of some kind, we're going to be able to hit it here, which is pretty awesome. They ended up going in for a Gunk Shot. That actually did a ton of damage and also poisoned our Annihilape, which is very unfortunate. We are going to get a little bit of leftovers here every turn, and of course, we do still have that Drain Punch, which means that we can regain health here pretty much anytime we want. But in this situation here, I don't know if Revaroom is going to be able to outspeed or if we do. So they're actually going to end up going in for the Protect here, probably scouting out to see what I'm going to do in this situation. And here we go with the Drain Punch, just kind of giving it away to them, And this is honestly probably one of the longer battles that we've had in the Team Star competition. And I'm going to have to say it's primarily due to the Toxapex, I have to say. But we are going to lose a little bit of poison, or a little bit of health there due to the poison here this turn. That's perfectly fine. We'll eventually get it back. They're going to withdraw the Revaroom. They're going to come in with their Toxapex here once again. And you guys are going to see it's going to kind of go back and forth just a little bit. We ended up going in for the Drain Punch here. As you can see, it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. But if I do manage to get a couple of bulk ups up, it might actually help us out a little bit more. Now, we do have the leftovers here, so that is going to have to do for now because of the poison situation. It looks like they also have Black Sludge, so if I actually manage to bring my Krookodile to this battle, I might be able to do a knockoff here and take off that Black Sludge. But I have been hit a few times, which means that I could potentially go for the Rage Fist. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the bulk up here because I know what they're doing. They're trying to do the whole Regenerator situation in the situation that they might be able to take out my Annihilape. So I ended up going in for the bulk up here, and realistically, they probably should have, done a little bit of a haze thing going on here. Or, even set up like something like Infestation. Infestation has been proven to be quite useful in the past like Toxapex. So we are going to lose a little bit of health there, but that's, again, perfectly fine. And, of course, we have a couple of stat boosts here. So they're going to go in for the Protect. And of course, they're just kind of slowly waiting that clock. They're trying to make sure that the Toxic is going to actually drain my health here. No Dice Home Slice. I'm too cool for that. You're going to end up saying Hasta la Vista at the end of this battle. But we are hanging in here. It's a little bit of a stall kind of thing going on. And you know me, I don't really like to upload the stall situations, but I feel like I kind of have to in these competitions. So we're going to go in for the Rage Fist here. It looks like we're going to manage to actually get a hit, and Revaroom goes down. Obviously, Revaroom cannot survive the power of the bulked up Rage Fist. I should just end up calling Annihilape Rage Fist or something. Just something crazy. Anyway, we are still hanging in here, tough and strong, and you know, we do still have a Drain Punch situation that we can do, get a little bit of health, but you know, we could go for the Taunt. That way we don't get any kind of like painful bunker situation in Haze, but they see right through me. They know what I'm gonna do. This is not their first rodeo, guys, like really. Probably faced quite a bit of Annihilape actually in this competition. I know I have. So we get a little bit of health here. They did the Baneful Bunker. We're going to lose a little bit of health there due to the Toxic. It's a whole thing. Okay, here we go. We're going to be able to attack this turn. We're going to try to go for the Rage Fist, but they ended up getting the Baneful Bunker a second time in a row. Now, to my knowledge, Baneful Bunker is very similar to Protect. And that would imply that, you know, the more that you try, the more it's going to fail. So eventually, we should be able to hit this thing at some point with some sort of move. Unless it's got Protect as well, then we're a little bit screwed. Anyway, here we go with the Rage Fist. They are not capable of going for that Baneful Bunker here yet again. But we did manage to get a decent attack in here, which is pretty fantastic. Now, he does end up having Haze, which eliminates all of our status changes, which is unfortunate, but not the end all. Okay, there's still potential with the Rage Fist, and as long as they don't go for those whole Baneful Bunker situations, we might actually be okay here. However, we have basically one turn left. So if they do manage to go for Baneful Bunker, we end up losing Annihilape here. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You can't always win every battle, you can't always have the best outcome, right? It's just impossible. So they Baneful Bunkered, I cannot taunt, and I'm pretty sure at this point we're going to lose our Annihilape this turn. Oh, we did actually get a little bit of health here. Maybe we'll survive. Maybe we'll have one more shot. Maybe. Ooh, will we? 5 HP. Oh my gosh. That's actually pretty wild. So we're going to go for the Rage Fist here. Now, guys, I know it sounds like I've never actually seen this battle before. Honest to God, I've had so many recordings over the last X many years, and I am trying to go through all of my recordings and get them uploaded. So if it sounds like I don't remember a match, honestly, I've done so many battles, I can't remember them all. So I am doing post-commentary, as you guys may have already figured out. So just, you know, kind of bear with me here as we actually go through the battle here together. I find it's kind of a neat little adventure. Yay, adventures! Anyway, we die from the poisoning, okay? So we do have Toxapex still to worry about on the opposing side. It does potentially also have the ability to recover, so we have to think about that as well. So we do have Krookodile, we still have Revaroom. Now, which is the best choice here? Probably the Krookodile. Now, I could go in for the knockoff and knock off their item, or I could go in for the Earthquake and do some attack. Now, I'm thinking at this point in the battle going for the Earthquake, okay? There are some points of these battles I do tend to remember over time. And, you know, in this situation here, it just makes more sense to go for the attack than it does to go for, like, a knockoff in this case. Knockoff, of course, is not going to do as much damage as you think as the Earthquake, but, I mean, it would lose the item, so that is something that I'd have to take into consideration later on if I'm not really getting anywhere in the match. Now, as you can see, the Earthquake actually did quite a bit of damage, and then, of course, you see the Toxic coming into play. Now, Toxic, it's pretty much a Toxic stall set. I would more prefer to see the Infestation set, to be quite honest, because that is something that is very unique. Toxic stalling has been around since Gen 1, maybe? But Infestation is something that came in, I believe, in Generation 6. So it's kind of unique in its own way, because if I'm not mistaken, I think the power gets more as the match goes on. But anyways, long story short, we are losing health to poison, because that's how they decided to stall. But this is getting even closer here. If we can actually get an attack off here, we are going to be able to pull this off. And there it is, guys. Baneful Bunker has failed, and we get the Earthquake. So that is going to be game. If you enjoyed the battle there today, give it a big thumbs up. Post your comments in the comment section down below. I'd like to hear from you. And I will see you in the next battle. Peace out.